This is Indy, my 17-year-old cat, who breathed her last today. She was doing really well until about 3 weeks ago when I noticed that she was walking kind of, kind of weak, like her hind legs weren't working very well. She was kind of wobbly. And I thought, well, she's getting old and, maybe she has some joint issues and maybe I'll just, give her some glucosamine or something for her joints. Well, within 3 or 4 days, she just got a lot worse. So I thought, man, this must be something else. So I decided to take her in to be seen. So another thing I had noticed is that when she was eating, I have two cats, and I mean they eat whenever. They eat when they're hungry, and Indy was always good. She ate her thing, and then she was done, she'd walk away. My other cat is a little bit nibbles and then comes back and nibbles and walks away and comes back. Indy always ate. I mean, she seemed fine with that. But I had noticed that she was kind of mawing her food kind of weird. She was having trouble. She was having trouble dealing with food in her mouth. And without my knowing, I guess she just stopped eating and drinking. And that's why she was so weak. So anyway, I took her in. I told them, I mean, I didn't even see the doctor before he saw her. Some assistant came in and dragged her away. They didn't let me be in the exam room. And I told her, I said, she's been having trouble with food in her mouth. I'm wondering if her teeth are, if there's something sore, if her gums are sore, or her jaw, there's something going on with her mouth. So she just kind of gave me this vague look and took the cat out to be examined. So 5 minutes later, he walks back in with a cat and pronounces that she's in kidney failure. She's old and, that's just the way it goes. And, he really sounded like he had already written her off. He said, the experts, whoever they are, the experts say that cat kidneys only last 10 years. So anything over 10 years is like a miracle or whatever. So I thought, okay, and he said, well, we can do some blood tests, $200 worth of blood tests, and then we can really tell. And I said, well, what would you do if you had the results? He said, well, if the numbers are really off the charts, then it means hospitalization and IV fluids 24 hours a day or euthanizing her. And he said if the values aren't too bad, then you can take her home with IV fluids at home. And I said, well, why don't we do that? Let's just hydrate her and have IVs. No. I have to have the blood test first. Well, it sounds like no matter what, she needed hydration. She was extremely dehydrated already. But he wasn't, no, and I don't have $200 worth. I don't have $200 to do blood tests, right? So then he said, well, you can push fluids with a syringe orally if she's not drinking. And I thought, okay, I'll do that. And I asked him, do you think she's in any pain? And he said, well, she's nauseated. She's drooling. So he gave her a shot for nausea, and he gave me some pills to take home to give her. So that's what I did. I took her home, and I thought, well, if I really hydrate her, she'll be able to, eat again and drink again normally. So I hydrated and hydrated. I was up almost straight for 3 or 4 days. And then, she urinated. She urinated just fine. Every 3 or 4 hours she was peeing. So her kidneys, I thought, well, her kidneys are working fine. But she just wasn't, perking up at all. She kept deteriorating. And and it got to a point where she wouldn't open her mouth anymore for the syringe thing. And then when I would get it in there, she would just let the fluid run out. She wouldn't swallow. So I thought, geez, Louise, I ordered. So then I ordered some IV fluids. I was still, in on this kidney track. There's something wrong with her kidneys. So I ordered IV fluids, but with all the holiday this past weekend, it was like 5 days. I got some fluids in her, but not much, and she just kept dehydrating and getting weaker and weaker. She had probably not eaten in like a week and a half to 2 weeks. So one time I saw her panting, just these fast little breaths, and her tongue was out, and she has this lesion on her tongue. And I thought, oh my goodness, my cat is dying because she has a sore tongue, sore mouth. And I was just, I was very upset. And my sister, who was a PA for, I don't know, 30 some years, she's very good with diagnosing. She said, oh yeah, she said, well, gray patches, she probably has stomatitis. So we looked it up, and sure enough, all the symptoms are, weight loss because they can't eat, they can't drink. They stop grooming themselves because, of course, their mouth is sore, and they drool not because they're nauseated, they drool because it hurts to swallow their saliva. So, by the time I figured out what was really going on with her, 5-6 days had gone by where I could have already been treating the stomatitis, right? So she was just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Finally, the IV fluids came, and the IV fluids came yesterday. And the evening before that, I was pretty desperate. I thought, I called the other vet. There's only 2 vets in town. So I called the other one and I said, I know you close at 5. I said, I can be there 5:30. Could you please stay? And my cat really needs hydration. I said, I don't think she'll make it through the night. Well, no, we close at 5, and if she's not dead by morning, you can bring her in the morning. So much for that, right? The compassionate caregivers that we have, the compassionate professional medicine people. Anyway, so yesterday the fluids did come, but she had just deteriorated so badly, and her mouth was just so sore. I was like, I can't do this anymore to her. I was trying. They say that putting, I used a little cotton swab to clean up, to kind of just roll it over her gums and her teeth inside of her cheeks and things. So because hydrogen peroxide kills anaerobic bacteria, and apparently stomatitis bacteria is anaerobic, so you can kind of flush it out with that. Also, I heard that colloidal silver is a good, like an antibiotic. I only got 2 doses of that down her. She was just too weak. And there was dried blood around her mouth and her nose. And towards the end, she was having projectile vomiting with brown, probably old blood that she probably swallowed, and and then it came back up. So it was not a fun way to go. I did give her some nice magic drops that I get from somebody privately, and I think they kept her comfortable. The other thing, I was going to say something about this issue. If you guys, if your pet is ever dehydrated or, needs fluids and can't drink for any reason, there are plenty of sites on on the internet where they teach you how to do it. It's not hard. It's not difficult at all. It's just time is of the essence. If you think your cat has anything wrong inside her mouth, get her checked out. Make sure she gets nutrition, because they lose weight so fast and just deteriorate so fast that it's not they can't recover. They just can't recover. And with 5 days of wasting time, not knowing what was really wrong, that was really against her. So anyway, I've had my time to cry and to be upset and to be angry, but it is what it is. So anyway, this is just my therapy, so I don't really care if anybody listens to this. It's therapeutic for me. I know that people lose children and all kinds of death, and but it's still, she was with me for 17 years, so she was a feisty girl. I found her in the woods. She was probably maybe a month old. The eyes weren't even quite open, and she made it through that. So anyway, I know there was something else I was going to say about cat care. Oh, another thing I read about this stomatitis thing and mouth problems in cats. If you put like 2 drops of peroxide in their drinking water every day, they say that it keeps the harmful bacteria under control in the mouth. So that's just a small thing that you can do. I also notice my cats drink better when I have it the water in a flat dish. For years they wouldn't drink out of the bowl, and then I finally figured out a flat dish did the trick. The other thing with cats, and kidneys, I was amazed when he said she had kidney issues, because I've had her and my other cat too on wet cat food. They don't drink enough, and it really should be wet cat food, canned. And I've always made sure that there's no grains in it. I've never given them water out of the faucet. They've never had shots of any sort. So I've tried to keep the poisons out of their lives as best as possible. Now my other cat is just as old. I think she's doing better though, because she eats a lot of my food. She'll eat raw chicken. She'll eat cooked chicken. She licks up my beef broth. She eats raw beef. So she supplements with real food. She doesn't only eat the canned stuff, and I think her immune system is probably a lot better. Indy didn't really want, she occasionally would chew on some raw chicken, but she wasn't really excited about it, and such is that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. Well, anyway, thank you all for listening. Take good care. Bye.